Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for October 2018. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. Okay, so I've already shuffled the deck. Let's go ahead and begin. This is for confirmation, but let's go ahead and start with this deck and get 9 cards. This is a love reading for the sign of Taurus for October 2018. The first card that you have is the Fool. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for October. The High Priestess. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for October. The Emperor. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for October. The Eight of Rods. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for October. The Five of Rods. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for October. The Moon. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for October. The Eight of Cups. Strength. And the Seven of Cups. Okay, what's the most important message that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for October 2018? The message that you have is the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles can mean that someone is resisting. This is a card of trying maybe to stay in your safe place. It could be that your partner is refusing to change. It could be that your partner is refusing to move to the next level of commitment. This is just being really stubborn and wanting to keep things the way that they are. We'll come back to this to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading, because just kind of looking this over, I do see why this card is here. There's a lot going on in this spread. And if you would like a private reading, you can go to my website. It is channelguidance.com. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the first row and see what you have going on here. So I just noticed that in the first row you have all major arcana. You have the Fool, the High Priestess, and the Emperor. So this is very interesting. I mean, you do start off with a really positive card of new beginnings. The Fool does represent a new beginning where you're just gonna have to trust. This is a very kind of risky new beginning. Some of you could be taking a giant chance with a new relationship. Maybe someone is very different than you. Others can be maybe healing, trying to heal a relationship, or maybe there's been a lot of differences, because I do see that in the spread. There's just a new beginning available to you where you're just going to have to trust. You do have the High Priestess next to it, and the High Priestess, this is saying that you're very intuitive, and if you're meant to take this new opportunity, or if you're meant to take this giant leap of faith, then you will know that. And if you're not meant to accept any type of new relationship, you will also know that. Your intuition will be telling you that you should pass. You also have the Emperor here saying you are in control, and it almost feels like this first row is telling you that there's a new opportunity that's being offered to you. So it could be, that you're meeting somebody new, and you're going to really have to use your intuition whether you should be dating this person, or maybe you have an opportunity to stay married to somebody, or maybe there was a divorce. Again, your intuition will be telling you yes or no, taking the next back. You are in control with the Emperor being here. Be in control. I feel like there's something new being offered to you. And the Emperor is saying take charge here. For some of you, this can even be that your relationship or your marriage, it needs a new beginning. And maybe you have to just take control, because remember, this is why it came up. There's something going on where somebody is just refusing to change, and they want to keep everything the same, when really you're starting off with a new beginning. It's time for something new. Whether it's you or your partner that is, wanting to stay here, it's time to move out of this energy and accept some type of new beginning. Take control. The Emperor is saying take control. Now look at the second row. This gives us a little bit more information. You have the Eight of Rods, the Five of Rods, and the Moon. So, seeing the Five of Rods here, this gets my attention, because the Five of Rods does mean that there are differences. And it could be that you and your partner want very different things. It doesn't mean that, that you shouldn't be together, but this card does represent, different personalities, egos clashing. There could even be a lot of bickering, misunderstanding, fighting. And it can even be, this is, back to the main energy, that somebody just refuses to change. Somebody's staying in their safe place. Maybe you want to move forward in a relationship and somebody's holding back. The Five of Rods does mean either fighting or just you want very different things. Some of you, and it's hard to say in a general reading, that's why I try to go over all the possible scenarios, but you do have the moon, a major arcana, and the moon can represent that, self-deceit. It can represent that somebody is lying to themselves, because sometimes with the Five of Rods, you're just fooling yourself. You're fighting something within you. And seeing it with the Eight of Rods here, it could be, that somebody maybe has been resisting a relationship or resisting a higher level of commitment, and they've convinced themselves, again, with that main energy, the Four of Pentacles, that they should just hold back, it's not the right timing or whatever. Again, the Five of Rods, fighting something within themselves. The moon, self-deceit. You do have the Eight of Rods here, which means there could be a very unexpected change or unexpected excitement with this person. The Eight of Rods, it usually only comes up when either there is a very unexpected message or communication that you have been waiting for, or there's a very unexpected change that you have been waiting for. So maybe it's someone that you had a falling out with the Five of Rods, somewhere where you just, maybe there was a big argument, or maybe you were just very different. And also the moon can be telling you that there's a lot coming up in your love life that you're not aware of. The moon just means that there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes. There could be a lot of things going on with the person that you love that you're not aware of. And part of that could be that they're fighting something within themselves, the Five of Rods. Wow. Look at this bottom row. You've got the Eight of Cups, Strength, and the Seven of Cups. Taurus, you definitely have a lot going on. The Eight of Cups right here, this is the goodbye card. This is someone wanting to move on. And it's possible. You've got the Seven and the Eight of Cups down there with the Strength card in the middle. It could be that you feel like you may be considering moving on from a partner. I'm not saying everyone's going to do that. You do start off with the Fool, saying that, if you're going to stick around, this is a risk you're going to have to take. I do see differences between you and the person that you love, but you are being told with the Emperor to take control. I feel like for some of you, you could be considering moving on, because again, the Seven and the Eight of Cups, with the Eight of Cups being, the goodbye card, choosing to move on. But I feel like if, you're considering that, you're also, keep in mind that you're very confused. The Seven of Cups here, this does represent confusion, but also lack of clarity. Let me just show you here. Seven of Cups. Also, it's lined up with the moon. If you're breaking up with somebody, if you're choosing to leave a relationship, make sure that things are very clear in your head. Because, seeing the moon and the Seven of Cups in the same reading, there could be something you don't know. It could be that you're really emotional. It could be that you're just very tired of something that's going on. I can definitely see why, if you're struggling in a relationship, I can see why you would be thinking of maybe moving on. But again, the moon and the Seven of Cups does mean that something's maybe not clear to you. You're not seeing things clearly. Or maybe it's your partner. There's something they're not seeing clearly. There's a lot of confusion, emotional energy. You have the Strength card, just saying, just be brave. Hang in there. But again, if you are wanting to leave a relationship because you just feel like, the differences are just too much, with the Five of Rods being in the middle, you just feel like the differences are just like, you just don't want to do this anymore. You're being told to be strong with the Strength card, be brave. If you want out, then move on. You do have the Eight of Cups, which does represent you choosing your own happiness. It could be a really emotional time for you, but again, you have to do what's best for you. Let's get a few more cards and see what the rest of the message is. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for October? You have the Magician. Wow, so now you have the Magician right next to the Emperor. That's a huge message for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for October? You have Judgment. And you have the Page of Cups. These three cards. So, I'm surprised to see the Magician right next to the Emperor, because this is just confirming that you have a huge decision to make, and only you can make that decision. The Emperor, again, this is all about you being in control, taking charge, doing what you have to do to create a sense of stability in your love life. And then the Magician, again, is just reminding you that you hold all the cards. You have everything that you need to make yourself happy. And I see you doing that. You have the Judgment card. This does represent a new beginning. So again, this is just tying in with the very first card. There's a new beginning available to you, but only you can choose it. And it can be, you know, giving love a second chance. It can be giving a person a second chance, giving your marriage, a relationship. I just see, you know, a struggling relationship with the Judgment card. This card only comes up when a relationship, it's kind of hit rock bottom and you feel like there's no coming back from it. But with this card being here, this is telling you that you can heal this relationship, but there can be a new beginning. But again, it's because of a decision that you make with the Magician and the Emperor here. I do see maybe a very emotional conversation with the Page of Cups, a heart-to-heart conversation. This could be you just opening up to somebody and telling them how you feel, or it could be someone opening up to you. This could be the beginning of a relationship, or again, even rekindling a relationship. So kind of a double message there with the Page of Cups and Judgment. But I mean, it all goes back to you. I feel like you have some important decisions to make, whether you still want someone in your life, whether you want to give someone a second chance, your marriage. It's all about you. So this is why you have the High Priestess saying use your intuition, because there is a new beginning for you, and you start off with that energy. Okay, let's go ahead and see what the confirmation deck wants to tell you. Let's see if any of this repeats itself, any of the cards. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for October? You have the Page of Swords. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for October? You have the King of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for October? And the Five of Rods. So this card has repeated itself because it's right there. Okay, what's the most important message that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for October 2018? Wow. So the Emperor has also repeated itself. Sorry about that. The cards have spoken. The Emperor. Again, take charge of what's going on in your love life. If you're not happy, move on. I mean, this card is giving you its blessing. Move on. You deserve to be happy. Some people may be upset by that, but so be it. You have to do what's best for you. Take control. If you want someone back in your life, let them know. I mean, I do see that here as well. A heart-to-heart conversation. Maybe you're interested in someone. Maybe you really want to tell someone how you feel about them. Tell them. The Page of Cups is giving you its blessing. You're just, in some way, the sign of Taurus, I mean, this is a huge message for you. You have a repeating major arcana, and it's about you. You have to do something about your love life. It's time for action, because there are new beginnings around you. Okay, so these three cards right here, and this is a repeating one. I'll get to that one in a minute. You have the Page of Swords. So it is time for the truth. The Page of Swords does represent a very honest conversation. This is, a very blunt conversation, like, I don't love you anymore. I don't want to be married to you anymore. Or the opposite. It could be that I've always wanted to be with you, or I still love you. This could be someone telling you this, or it could be you letting somebody know. And this could be someone who is a fire sign. You have the King of Wands, which does represent Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. So you could be communicating your feelings to someone who is a fire sign, or someone in that energy. And of course, I mean, the Five of Wands 2 times. They call it the Five of Rods in the other deck, but it's the same card. So this just shows that there is a problem in your love life. And again, the Emperor 2 times as well. There is a problem. I mean, I feel like the Emperor and the Five of Rods are the two, most important messages in this reading. There's a problem that only you can solve. And, I mean, with the Five of Rods, there can be huge differences. If you're already coupled, there can be a lot of differences between you and your partner. Doesn't mean you can't work things out. Again, it could be that if you really want to work things out, that you have to take control with the Emperor being here 2 times. And the Magician as well. Only you can create this new beginning from the Fool, your very first card. But it could also be that there's huge differences between you and your partner and what you want. Maybe you just want very different things. Maybe you're just very different people. And I do feel like some of you, I mean, thousands of people watch this video. Some of you may want out. You may be looking for confirmation that, maybe it's time for me to leave. And I do see for some of you that want that, I do see that confirmation down here. The 8 of Cups and the 7 of Cups with the Strength card in the middle. Just make sure if you're choosing to leave a relationship, which, you have a right to do that. Make sure that you are seeing things clearly, because you do have the Moon and the 7 of Cups, which does show that you could be very emotional and you may not be seeing things clearly. Make sure that you're in a very kind of stable and grounded place Should you choose to leave a relationship in October? I know I'm posting this really late, so this could be something that manifests itself in November. It's just that energy of like, things are very different. We're very different. This card has repeated itself. Communication is also important. I mean, the Page of Cups, someone just speaking, you know, what's in their heart. It could be positive, or it could be negative for someone else if you don't love them anymore. And very honest communication with the Page of Swords. So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus just on X's. I'm going to use this deck here. Let me just get these out of the way. I'm going to keep them here, see if anything repeats itself. We're going to focus just on X's. This can be someone where you just broke up, or it could be someone where you've been apart for weeks, months, years. It doesn't matter as long as this person is, you know, no longer with you, and maybe you're just hoping, you know, to reconnect. You want to know, is there a chance? Okay, let me go ahead and shuffle the deck that I have here. Show me the energies around Taurus and their ex. Show me the energies around Taurus and their ex. Taurus and their ex. Show me the energies around Taurus and their ex. What do they need to know? Taurus and their ex. Taurus and their ex. What do they most need to know? Taurus and their ex. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what you have going on here. Again, just focusing on X's. Show me the energies around Taurus and their ex in October 2018. You have the Ace of Swords, Taurus and their ex in October 2018. The Four of Cups, Taurus and their ex, October 2018. The Seven of Cups, so this is a repeat card. Taurus and their ex, October 2018. Page of Swords, that's also a repeat card. Taurus and their ex, October 2018. The High Priestess, also a repeat card. Wow. Taurus and their ex, October 2018. Strength, also a repeat card. I don't think this has happened for any of the other signs where so many cards, I only pulled 6, where so many cards have repeated themselves from the 9-card spread. I mean, you have the Seven of Cups that popped up in the first spread I did for you. 7 of Cups was there, the Page of Swords was there, the High Priestess was there, the Strength card is there. I mean, you have a pretty crystal clear message here for you. Let me just put the cards here. So here's the Page of Swords from the spread I just did for you. Because we need to keep these in mind because these are strong messages for you. Here's the Strength card. I may not be able to get all of them. There's the Strength card. And here's the Seven of Cups that you had in the first spread. And just looking for the High Priestess here. We want to keep in mind, like, what is this trying to tell you? Why, again, if you go and look through the other readings, let's see. Yeah, she's right here. I'll just put it there. If you go and look, I think that's too distracting. I'll put it over here. If you go and look through the other readings that I've done, like, none of the other X spreads have had this many repeat cards. It just seems like there's something huge going on with the sign of Taurus. Like, this is like a turning point for you. And, I mean, the High Priestess 2 times, like, your intuition is either screaming at you that, you know, this is a time where you need to reach out to your ex, or your intuition could be telling you that maybe if they've already contacted you and you're considering taking them back, your intuition could be telling you yes, or it could be telling you no. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's come up for you here. So in this spread, I pulled the Ace of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Seven of Cups in the top row. So, you know, what I see here, you know, there's still unhappiness. I mean, whatever happened with your ex, let me just move these out of the way because I'm finding them now kind of distracting. I feel like, you know, whatever happened between you and your ex, there's still like something there where it's causing maybe confusion. The Seven of Cups and unhappiness, the Four of Cups. I feel like, there has to be, there's a strong message here for you to be patient. That's a huge message. Just be patient, because again, things are very confusing right now with the Seven of Cups being here, and it did come up for you 2 times, and then you had the Moon in the other spread. Things are very confusing. Things with your ex may not be what you think they are. It could be that you may feel like they don't want you back, or they don't love you, or they moved on. Maybe they did, but maybe it's not what it seems. There's unhappiness. There's a sense of being unfulfilled. And it could be that your ex, or maybe somebody chose to move on from the relationship, maybe because they weren't happy. They could be rethinking this, seeing the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Cups, because the Seven of Cups does mean that someone's very confused, someone's not seeing things clearly, they're very emotional, there's choices to be made. And the Ace of Swords, this does represent clarity. So you've got, let me just show you here, you've got clarity and lack of clarity. So I feel like, if your ex maybe broke up with you because they weren't sure about your future, their feelings, I feel like they'll be figuring that out. But the Strength card is saying be patient here and use your intuition. Use your intuition. This is you really tuning into what's going on, around you. What are the signs telling you? Is the universe constantly revealing your ex to you, or is the universe telling you to move on? Because for some of you, you did have the Eight of Cups and the 9-card spread, and that is a card of moving on. And it was with the the 7 of Cups. So some of you, maybe you're meant to kind of move on from your ex. It's hard to say in a general reading, but this is a pretty kind of eye-opening spread with so many repeat cards. I just feel like there was confusion around your ex. Things were not clear at all. Maybe there was no closure. And there's clarity and lack of clarity. And there's still some, there's still some sadness there with the 4 of Cups. There's still sadness. To me, the 4 of Cups is a card of almost feeling numb. And this could be where you are. This could be that you may feel like, they're not coming back, or you feel almost like giving up. I feel like there's going to be a different perspective with the Ace of Swords. Like, you're going to have a new way of looking at your ex, either because they reach out to you. You did have the Page of Cups, and you have the Page of Swords here 2 times. There's a truth. I feel like, your ex could be telling the truth of what really happened. Maybe why they were confused. Maybe why they chose to move on. The Page of Swords, this is a very honest conversation coming to you. For some of you, it could be that you're the one reaching out. You're the one telling your ex exactly maybe why you chose to move on. You're just being told here to be brave. For some of you, you may have to be brave with the Strength card and speaking your truth to your ex. Or you could be, you have to confront your ex. There is definitely something very, very weird going on here for the sign of Taurus. Just think of it this way. There's a very strong message of lack of clarity and clarity. What you didn't know about your ex, I feel like you will be knowing. Either in the next few weeks, so what's left of October, or in November. This could even carry over into November. Lack of clarity and clarity. Also, the truth. Someone could be telling you the truth. What really happened, why they moved on, why they felt they had to go. You're going to have to really use your intuition, whether you want to believe them, whether you want to take them back. And the Strength card, you may have to be really brave and maybe hearing the truth. The Strength card 2 times. You may have to be really brave in reaching out to them or in taking them back. There's just a lot of eye-opening messages here. And from the first spread, I just want to show you again, because this was huge as well. The 5 of Wands 2 times. So there could have been, some very kind of petty energy between you and your ex. This is not a very kind of nasty card. That would be like the 5 of Swords. This is more of like just small, like petty differences, but those things can still tear you apart. Or just wanting very different things. Maybe you wanted to get married. Maybe you wanted, to move in and they didn't. Just small things that turned into something that you didn't think they were going to turn into. And the Emperor was also a repeat card over there. Which this is telling you that take charge of what's going on in this spread here. Take charge. If there's confusion around your ex, maybe you're meant to reach out to them. The Page of Swords 2 times. It's time to be honest, maybe with yourself about your ex. I feel like it's time to learn the truth. You've got truth here 2 times. The Ace of Swords is clarity and truth, and this is a very truthful conversation. I feel like it's time to learn the truth, and some of you could be hearing the truth from your ex. I mean, you did have the Page of Cups and the other spread, saying there could be a very emotional conversation. So again, they could be letting you know why they were unhappy, why they had to move on. You're just being told to be patient here with the Strength card. Okay, Taurus, this has been your love reading for October 2018. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again next month.